Hey, y'all, what's up? It's your favorite candy lady, Msicandi, and welcome to If You Like It, I Love It. It is time for the reality TV review. I got Karma Fox in the building. And listen, we've been on a little hiatus for a minute, so we got a lot of catching up to do. We've been doing Love and Marriage Huntsville for the past few weeks, but I guess the shows is back. The shows are back. So we got the Housewives of Potomac that's back. We have Married to Medicine that's back, and I think Bell Collective is back. So that's a lot of shows to go from like just one to whoosh. And the writer's strike is over, so we're gonna be some acting, some real shows come back on TV. So if y'all are actually fans of shows,
I've been waiting on Law and Order SVU. I have cases to solve. I have motherfucking cases to solve. Like these reality shows, real cute, but there's some things that I need to be doing, and I haven't been able to do what I'm doing. And the fact that I've been away from the squad for all these months, and I don't have a date, is sometime in April of 2025. I should be looking at the Christmas specials and stuff, and I haven't gotten those.
Okay,
so I'm gonna just, keep taking my anxiety meds, but I am really stressed out.
Girl, I'm happy when I saw it was over, because seriously, for this strike, I have been watched so many shows, because I'm normally, I got my shows, I got my reality shows, and I got my scripted shows. I watch more scripted acting shows than reality shows because I really like especially like cop shows, like the first responder shows. I like court shows, I like all that stuff. I be into it. So I watched SWAT. I binge watched SWAT. I'm into SWAT now. And then this and just SWAT wise, Shamar Moore is so fine. I don't care what nobody say. Like, he's finer now. Because I know back in the 90s, people was like, oh, he cute. And he was like, little cutie pie. But he on SWAT, he like a grown man on SWAT. He like 50. I'm like, oh, bearded, bald headed. Like, oh, hey.
Okay. Do he?
He do. He look good.
I've always felt he is with he's with the Alphabets, and I've just been waiting for him to say hey back. You know
what? He just became a father, and he has a girlfriend of this complexion. I knew that. That's what I knew. I knew he would.
I always got like a bisexual vibe or a pansexual vibe from him. I never got an H. I never got a heterosexual.
The only reason I would agree with the bisexual vibe is because when he was on Soul Train, the way he was dancing, sometimes I used to be like,
yeah, it's something about his
I'm like a real normal black people vibe of dancing. So
it's something about his aura. I just never thought I was his cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? But I like that him and Jamie Foxx date these women without bringing us in it. Like, they have their women in peace.
Yeah, and they don't sit and dog us.
They don't bring us into that. And I really respect that.
I have a thing for Jamie.
You
still,
do.
I'm a little upset.
You don't have a thing for us, personally.
Clearly, okay.
Breaking my heart. Put up, and we're glad he's here.
Break my heart.
Y'all know what Jamie like. Y'all know
right. There's a show on OWN called All Rise, and it comes on after Love and Marriage Huntsville. I binged that, and it is good.
That's pretty good.
I like that show a lot. So there are some shows that I have been watching, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of. The thing about All Rise is All Rise was still going on. Like this upcoming Saturday after Love and Marriage Huntsville is a new episode. So even though all the other shows have been like on strike, somehow All Rise was still going.
Maybe because it was already pre-recorded.
Maybe.
And we just saw it at that particular time.
Okay.
I think it's because I think things that were already coming out was already coming out. It was things that were in actual production and things that are supposed to be coming. Those things were on a halt. But if it was already filmed, it was already out.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. Season 6, episode 23 and 24. We're going to start with 23 and try to breeze through this because we have 1 hour, less than an hour. We got 45 minutes to get y'all through these 2 episodes, and then we're going to come back and do Potomac. So let's just go. It's called Hold Her Accountable. Mel and Kiki did a drug test. Kiki tells her Kiki husband, tells her she ain't got to take this drug test. She ain't got to prove nothing to anyone. All right. Kiki said, you know what? If I take a drug test, I want Marceau to take a drug test. I mean, a lie detector test that he been lying about cheating on my cousin. And Mel was like, that ain't gonna happen, girl. I think you should just take the test to shut down the rumors, right? Kiki agrees. She take the test. It's negative. Kiki is drug free. That's what they say. All right. Mel then tells her, Kiki, that Tiffany was implying that Kiki and her husband was lying about where they live. You know, they moved into a new neighborhood because they wanted to get their son in a better school districts where he could be looked at for college, you know. And because he's registered in a new school, Tiffany was running her mouth allegedly to Mel saying that they don't really live in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to get him into school. So that's messy. So before we go to the next scene, what did you think about the drug test and the rumors of Tiffany being messy?
I'm glad if Kiki is glad that she's been vindicated that drugs are not the reason why she's having some of her reactionary responses, and that can be put to rest.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I don't know if it's editing or if it's Kiki or what the hell it is. If it isn't drugs, what is going on some of the high reactionary things that we're doing at our age? And what the fuck is going on with this Crime Stoppers that we just keep getting a picture of? They're not getting charged.
We ain't talking about it.
I can't follow a story with Kiki.
Yeah.
It very much seems chaotic in the way that it is being presented. It seems very choppy and it seems very exploitative to me because nothing comes of substance of Kiki. It is just these moments of explosiveness, messiness, or possible drug use. But I still haven't felt like I got to know who Kiki is at all.
I can agree with that. Actually, yeah, I could agree with that. I don't know who
that lady is.
Me neither. I'm uninterested in Kiki.
I'm just not the way that
I think that's my problem. Like, I'm just not interested. I want to be interested in Kiki, but I'm just not.
It's too much going on.
I don't want to be interested in her because I do support underdogs. I do like to see underdogs, you know, rise but I don't like the way Kiki's presenting herself. I don't like that she trying to spill her cousin's tea. Like, I'm big on family. I would never do that to my cousins. I wouldn't expect my cousins to do that to me. If I did, it'd be a no contact relationship. We would not communicate. You're not my cousin no more. So I don't like that.
Like Kiki's position is to be an antagonist only, and you only having a storyline of I hate somebody doesn't make me want to like you.
Right.
So like the way you're being positioned is I got beef with Tiffany and I got beef with Tisha, but it doesn't make me like Kiki because you got beef with them. I have yet to see what you like or what you're doing or what you're bringing.
And it's always mess. I need some of your scenes to not be messy and confrontational. I need some of them. If they're always messy and it's always confrontational, I don't like people like that. So it's hard for me to be like interested. Like, I'm just not interested. I'll be like,
she tried to tell us about her day with Mel. She talks so much, you could tell they edited it out. Yeah. So it's just something about her that's not clicking on the TV screen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we move on to Letitia and Marceau. They're going on vacation for 5 days. They discuss what happened at the barbecue. Tisha says she done with Kiki. Marceau said he don't really believe her. Marceau explains how he apologized to Stormy. He took it too far with the drug thing and how she was affected by that. He mentions Tisha and not holding herself accountable, especially talking about the Black Expo and how she wouldn't tell the truth about them not being organized because, you know, as our last review, we talked about how they weren't organized for their little black poker game thing. So once again, they ain't organized. Letitia says that she was defensive on the lack of organization. but she still doesn't like that comment, you know, and she don't want to talk about it no more. I didn't really care about that scene. What about you?
I don't even know what you're defensive about. What's organized? You more defensive about the comment than the fact that you was disorganized.
Right.
That's,
I don't know. I think it's just like too soon for her and Mel. I think if somebody else would have said it, it would have been different, and she would have.
You know, that's planting toes on that and say, I'm not ready to hear any criticism from Mel because we're just not in a place that I can receive that without it being translated as shade. Mm-hmm. Be a big girl and use your words.
Right.
That also will allow Mel to be like, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you let me know when you want that or when you're ready for us to move into that direction of our relationship.
But also don't invite me to give constructive criticism if I'm not supposed to.
The gag is she probably didn't. And that also I would have said on camera. The gag is, honey, I didn't. Carlos did.
Yeah. And that's great. But
that's the gag. I probably didn't. I didn't. You weren't in it. So I didn't invite you. Mm-hmm. Period.
That's and that's she should have. Because that
was 10 toes down on it.
Yeah, and that would have been, and you really can't say nothing back after that either. Like, okay,
you can't. I didn't because you're part of the comeback group, and because of scheduling, and we need a group scene. You had to come, but honestly, your presence wasn't needed because you actually weren't a part of the actual event. You were a guest of, and if we want to hear what the guests thought, we will send a guest survey.
Mm-hmm. Boom, but they're not organized enough to do that either.
And that's what Mel could have said when she got back. Close. Scene over. Next scene.
Boom. Okay, so then we get to Mel and Miss Van. They're planning Mel's name changing ceremony. They got a program. They got a little menu. It looks like it's gonna be so elegant. It's called Take Me Back. She says she wants to have 20 to 25 people. She wants it to be very intimate. She wants security there in case, you know, she got some pop-ups or some uninvited guests trying to show up like Mr. Martell Hope. Mel hadn't opened her letter, you know, yet about the name change. So she does it with her mom. And then she reads it and she's back to Rogers. So it seemed like an emotional moment for her. It's something powerful that they say about freedom. I don't remember it now because I ain't watched it, but I was like, it was nice. It was cute. I even got emotional for Mel.
I was going to say, some people said she was doing too much with this name change event. You know,
I think with the ceremony, but that's the next episode. Like the moment that she read the actual paper with her mom, it was something that she said to me because I wrote it down. That was real powerful, and it made me emotional. I think because I don't went through a divorce, I could understand exactly where she was coming from. My situation was nowhere near where Mel's was, where it was like you dealing with an abusive, narcissistic type of man. Like me and my ex-husband, we co-parent very nicely. We are building a friendship. We were friends first, so we're working on that, and it's not nowhere near like that. But it is powerful to be able to take you back and focus on you and get yourself back and love yourself and, you know, build that. So I thought it was nice for her, especially after everything she went through. This is an important moment for her. She want her damn name back. And I don't blame her. I don't want to be attached to Martell anyway. I know some people, when they get divorced and they have children, they keep that name, you know, so they can match with their kids. But if I was married to a Martell Hope, baby, absolutely not. I don't want shit to do with that man. Like, take your name back. Take it. So, Kiki and Stormy, they like buddy buddies, girl. Like, Stormy love her some Kiki. Okay? She want to be best friends with her. Do you think the reason that Stormy has this attachment to Kiki is because of her best friend? Yeah. Okay.
I think Stormy
like trauma bond
consciously trauma bonds like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
The people that she ends up finding connections or things that she says she likes about them seems to be some form of trauma. Even my observation with her breakthrough with Tiffany, and I really felt like a sincere moment came when she was concerned about Tiffany's possible postpartum depression that was hinted upon but never confirmed. Mm-hmm. And we all know that Stormy dealt with depression and tried to unalive herself at some point. And so I feel like when she finds something trauma in others that relates to the trauma that she's been through, she clings and latches onto them and tries to fix them because she couldn't fix that part of herself at that time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was watching that, and I just hear Stormy in the way she talks about Kiki and tries to like stand 10 toes down for her and defend her. I just found it interesting, and I was like, I wonder if it's like a trauma bond, like it's interesting. It seems very genuine too. It seems like
it is genuine to trauma bond. I think people don't understand how powerful that connection is. To be able to share your wounds with another person is very powerful. So that's why it comes out very sincere and authentic, because you're sharing a trauma with someone, and that is a very sensitive and genuine moment. But if you take the trauma off the table, I don't know if there is enough healthiness that would have like made this friendship cohesive.
Right.
And I think Stormy has not even learned that yet. I don't think she's even aware that some of your relationships that you build or how you build them, a lot of it is just out of trauma responses.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So Kiki apologized for her behavior at the barbecue and having Stormy in the middle of it. She says Tisha purposely triggered her by not speaking. Said it was pre-planned by Letitia and her wife to ignore her and treat her that way. Stormy tells Kiki about Marcel's comments on the drugs after she left. They talk about the Carlos King interview with Tiffany and where she was shading Kiki heavy. Kiki tells Stormy that Tiffany has been talking crap about Stormy's products, because she has sent her some products or whatever after she had her baby, went on bed rest and stuff like that, and some flowers. I think Stormy took that. It was weird because I think Stormy took what Kiki said about Tiffany throwing shade as Mel and Tiffany was throwing shade. I had wrote that down because in Stormy's confessional, she was like, so Tiffany and Mel was talking bad about me. And I was like, that ain't what Kiki said. Like, don't start doing this because you don't like Mel. That you ain't hear what that girl said. That girl said Tiffany was talking about your products because she mentioned you sent her some after she had the baby with some flowers, and she was saying your products was bad or whatever. And she wasn't saying Mel was talking bad about you. It was just weird. I don't know. I noticed this on Potomac too when I watched the episode today. They be like making it seem like it's something else that that irritates me.
I really think that all shade don't have to even be a response.
Right.
Ain't nobody about to talk about my sold out products and we don't know what you do for a living. It's not even shade that needs to be addressed. I would have been like, oh, okay, that's crazy. And I'd have kept it moving. The hell up with the argue with Tiffany about? What does she do for a living?
I think the reason why if I was Stormy, would want to address that to Tiffany, not because the shade bothered me, but if we building a friendship and I think we cool.
See, that's what y'all be fucking up at. Y'all are building a work relationship. That is not her damn friend.
Stormy don't look at it like that. Stormy look at these things as her friend. Just like when Mel distance herself, you know how they be so offended that Mel distance herself.
Mel treat them like motherfucking colleagues at work that can't go out for drinks after cuts.
But because Mel distance herself, they be so pissed off. So I do feel like Stormy take it as, oh, we about to be friends, and your friends don't talk about you like that. But like you said, this is a job.
Issue. Tiffany does.
Yeah, she does.
See, you're trauma bonding because of the postpartum. But if you look at Tiffany for who she is, you would never rock with her in the first place. Period. And so you wouldn't have had an expectation of her not talking shit.
Right. Very much. I agree.
Like, so if you take Tiffany for face value, she should never get on your goddamn nerves.
I agree.
Because there is no expectation of you not being messy.
Mm-hmm.
If I met her, I would expect her to do every single thing she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
There is no expectation. I'd hurt her feelings with that. I don't have an expectation of you. And neither does your job because we don't know what you do. That's what I would tell her and kept to push. I don't have an expectation. You're doing what you do.
Okay. So we move on. Mel, Tisha, and Kimmy. They working out. Mel says that Tisha's energy is different. Kimmy notices her energy's off too. they talking about Kimmy's health. Let's not exercise too rough because of her health. They exercise like it's an older lady. She worked them out too because Kimmy was like, "Boy, this was a little rough." And then after they work out, Kimmy checks in on Tisha after the barbecue, like, "How you been? I ain't talked to you since. You've been okay?" Tisha says, you know, that this is on brand for Kiki. She wouldn't expect nothing less to Kiki. She knows that Kiki's still using. She knows it. And Mel's asking questions about, you know, like, were y'all having issues before this? Like, why was she acting like this? Was it something else that, you know, before y'all got in the same vicinity or whatever, that y'all had problems out? And that's why I was, and Tisha ain't want to talk about the shit no more. Okay, that's where it was at. She was like, I'm about to go. I'm about to end this conversation. So she leave. But Mel tries to give Kiki's perspective. Tisha don't want to hear that shit. She leave. So then Mel and Kimmy talk about it a little bit and say it's serious and they need to like do something. So there's that. Do you
I'm
agree?
not doing shit. That lady assaulted me with a drink. Talking about her perspective. I don't give a damn about her perspective. They having them right now on them TV screens because I would have told them, I do not care about her perspective. Whatever feeling she felt about my marriage or a rumor did not equate for her to throw this damn drink in my face. And my foot should still be in her ass. I do not care about her perspective. I'm the victim in the situation that was assaulted. And she can go to jail or hell, whichever comes first.
And I don't have to talk to her if I don't want to.
I don't have to. And I'm not going to.
The weirdest thing to me is somebody wanting to fight you, throw something on you, assault you, whatever, because you don't speak to them. I don't have to speak to you.
It's trying to remind me of somebody gonna get feathers ruffled because anytime we mention this fight in reality TV, they just remember Candace and Monique fighting on season 5, right? Yeah. And there was this big discussion about whether or not the words equate to hands. Mm-hmm. And I personally have always been a person, I never say I don't condone violence because we live in a violent world and I will match your energy if need be. Mm-hmm. But you have to have the maturity level to know when it has to be that and when it doesn't.
Right.
And I feel like I'm only using this because with Candace and some of the things she says, I felt like because her mouth is vicious could also turn into threatening as well. Like, hit me or do it or rock it.
Right.
Like that, then can turn into physical because somebody can perceive that to say that you do want this fight.
Right.
When it come to Tisha and this situation of a drink being thrown, she literally didn't say anything for it to escalate to a drink in your face.
Right.
There was no subtle threats. There was nothing. She literally ignored you and you threw a goddamn drink on her. It's not even open for discussion about her perspective. She is 100%. And
that's the thing too. I feel like, and that's where we get production trying to make them talk about that because it was interesting that Mel after the barbecue when she was talking to Kiki, she said, I don't think anything Tisha did today warranted her getting a drink thrown in her face. Like,
but you gotta ask the person that's been assaulted to look at their abuser's perspective, and that's where you messed her up on this conversation.
Yeah. That's why I said it was weird. It was weird
her perspective on whether or not she wants to reconcile with someone that assaulted her. But the person who assaulted her thoughts and feelings
don't matter.
Do not matter to the victim because she should not have gotten rendered that.
To me, that's why it was weird that Mel would kind of push that when you just said in the other scene, she ain't do nothing to deserve this. So if she ain't do nothing to deserve that, why do I give a shit about what
Mel want Tisha to talk about that goddamn marriage?
Yeah.
Let's that. Let's talk about it. What happened? Mel know Kiki wrong.
Yeah.
This is where people say Mel a little messy. And as a mellometer, this is the messiness we talking about with that Scorpio. This is passive aggressive. Well, what happened? What did you say exactly about your marriage?
Yeah.
That's Mel doing that because we had to talk about her marriage for the past whatever many seasons.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about yours.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Mel thinks
fair. But I still understand
Mel. I saw that. I saw it.
I mean, I understand that part because we do want to talk about that. What happened in Africa? What happened this, that, and the other? But that ain't got shit to do with Kiki throwing a drink in my face. That's not gonna get me to say nothing because I don't give a shit about how she felt.
It was just the wrong approach, Mel. That wasn't the way you were gonna get that tea.
Yeah.
But I saw what you were doing there, but it would have shut anybody down about why the hell do you think I fit to sit here and sympathize with somebody that threw a drink in my face?
Yep. Period.
Good night. Wrap it up, unplug, girl. Turn the lights off. Turn the lights off. We're done.
Right. So we're gonna wrap it up with the last scene. Martell and Nell. Mel didn't speak to Martell at the barbecue, just like Letitia didn't speak to Kiki. And Nell said, I told Mel she should have spoke to you. No, she shouldn't have. She had to say shit. Then Nell gets Martell's opinion about Melody is having a name change situation. And he says it's basically a reality check, like, damn, okay, that's happening. And then she says, well, she's going to have a name changing ceremony and I'm going to attend. And Martell don't think she should attend. He feel like they need to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a slap in his face because that's the name that he gave her. And him and Nell go back and forth. He said he understand that she divorced, but why she got to have a party? He said he understand a divorce party, but a name changing party. Then he says they get into it about, well, I guess Nell said, I told you this shit would happen. We had that one conversation before the divorce, when Mel threw that drink in your face and shit. I told you, like, it's going to all, you know what I mean, be a big thing, and it's going to blow up in your face or whatever. And he said, what about her? You know what I'm saying? She cheated too. She cheated first. And she like, I don't know about that. Well, you ain't never asked her. Like, and it was just back and forth. And he wants to continue to paint this narrative that Mel cheated. This is the thing, Martell. Right back ain't cheating. And if she dealt with your cheating for 5 or 6 years and then finally got her lick back, we don't give a damn. I think you need to understand that. You need to understand we don't care. We don't care. You got the girl pregnant. You had the girl calling her up, disrespecting her, put Martell on the phone. We don't care if Mel went and got her little Kit Kat lick. We don't care. We actually encouraged it. Go, girl, get you some. We don't care. Nell doesn't care. We don't.
Unpopular opinion, though. I did not care for, as we go into the next episode, that y'all keep asking Martell about things surrounding Melanie, and that is her abuser. Mm-hmm. I don't even like that you bring things up to Martell about Melody in any shape, way, form, or fashion. Yes. We all know that is a trigger for him, and you have no idea how that may affect Mel and his mental thought process behind the scenes. And I do not like when Mel does that in any capacity, whether that I want to bring some tea back to Mel about Cherie or what Martell says or any of that. I do not like her having these conversations with these two because it's been too many real things happening that you are triggering this abuser, and we don't know what his next step is. And I do not like that Nell does that at the fuck out. And I'm gonna hold her accountable to that. She needs to stop talking to Martell about Mel.
And also stop talking to Mel about
Martell. It needs to stop. Find another way to stop.
They are divorced. So how he feels about me moving on, partying, dating, whatever, I don't give a shit. And he should feel the same way. Like, that's how it needs to be. If y'all gonna be friends with both of them, like, if the Fletchers are having a hard time, the Scotts are having a hard time, the Whitlows are having a hard time, shit, what's Stormy's last name? They're having a hard time being able to be both friends because this couple is split. Let me give y'all a tip. Stop trying to remind them about one another. They are separate now.
Trying that y'all in the middle when you're putting yourself in the middle. It was a conversation that never needed to be fucking had. You're either gonna go or you're not. But what the hell you telling him for? Or
why does it matter about her party? She don't
matter.
She don't care. She's not having a party for him. He's not invited.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's the second thing the Fletchers do that irritate me is y'all put yourself in that goddamn middle and they get mad at Martell's crazy ass reactions like y'all don't understand this dynamic here. Stop putting yourself in the middle. Stop going back and telling each other what. Stop.
Yeah, I agree. And then let's go to episode 24 because it starts with Nell and Chris Fletcher. Nell tells Chris about Martell being upset about them going to the party. Martell wanting to pick a side and alleging that Mel had infidelities. Nell and Chris talk about how they're actually interested in this event and how she gonna do it, because Mel's over the top and they want to know what's gonna happen. But Chris also said he needs to have a conversation with Martell.
No, he needs to have a conversation with his wife.
Yeah.
Honestly, what his reaction was to Nell is on brand and target for anybody that talks about Melanie and Martell's presence. He needs to have a conversation with his wife by saying, stop talking to that man about his ex-wife. Stop. Now, if he brings it to you, oh, I want to know what happened with Nell, then I'm gonna stop talking to that man about her.
Yeah.
He should have checked Nell. Stop talking to that man about her.
That's fair. That's fair.
These husbands acting like they scared to tell their wives sometimes the truth.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair, because I don't like that. I was irritated with Nell at the party, and I put that in my notes. Stormy and Tiffany recap of the barbecue. Stormy talks about how Tiffany shaded Kiki and how she calls her on a Carlos King show, whatever, and she calls her out about the interview. Tiffany was shocked, like, I was shading her. It was so funny how Tiffany be like acting like she don't know. She wonders if Stormy and Kiki are working together to plot against her. Tiffany basically says that she feels that
Tiffany got a job because your intentional obtuse and willful ignorance, I'm just not buying here.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do for a living? Do you go to your boss and say that, like, oh, the report wasn't turned in? What? Like, you now somebody plotting to get, like, I want to know what that lady does for a living, because you got to be crazy gaslighting us in our face.
I don't know.
Like, you didn't drag that woman on Carlos King. You
did. And you want to act shocked that they was talking about it. That was crazy. She said Tiffany denies it, and she doesn't feel like she was shaded. Kiki basically. And then you also notice that Tiffany was bothered that Stormy had an issue. She don't want no beef with Stormy. You don't
want no beef with Stormy. You don't want no beef with Stormy.
Yeah,
because that whole cast, I believe Stormy still will throw some hands. You absolutely don't want no beef.
And Tiffany did not want beef with her. Like, I noticed that. I noticed that. She's smart, because she was like, I don't want to beef with you. I want to be friends with you.
You sure don't. Stormy's not the one to do that with.
Right.
I can see it in her eyes. She can flip at the motherfucking turn of a switch.
What I will say I like about Stormy is, even though the reason that she and Kiki are, seems to be cool is because of trauma bond, I like that she defends her people. She was like, yeah, you shaded her, and I don't think that was cool. You know what I'm saying? I like that we can actually see somebody doing that, because a lot of times on these shows, when we see girls going against each other, and they talking behind the backs, it's just like they just go with it, like, oh, for real, oh, girl, ooh. So it was nice when she came back, like, yeah, I saw that interview and I think it was cool. So I respected Stormy for being like that, not being a yes person. I did like that about her. All right, girl, let's talk about let's talk about the ceremony. Okay? Let's talk about Mel's ceremony.
Beautiful gowns. Beautiful beautiful backyard arrangement.
Yes, very beautiful.
Very beautiful. Beautiful menus.
Very elegant.
Very elegant.
Yes, nice.
I would have never put this type of ceremony in my mind, but it was on brand for Mel.
Yes, it was. And I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at, a lot of people was. You look at like people's, feedback and what they had to say about it, and they did say, it was extra, and it was extra, but Mel's extra,
but she's extra. To me, it was on brand. I think now, of course, it's not everybody's cup of tea, right? But I think for what it represented for Mel, I was 100% felt like the event matched what it meant for her symbolically, with her walking herself down the aisle, committing back to herself. I thought everything made sense on how important this name change was for her. I think that it all made sense. And everybody don't have to You ain't gotta agree. Like you ain't
That's
gotta
why
be
everybody
like,
wasn't invited. That's why everybody wasn't invited. Everybody wasn't there. She kept it small.
She kept it really small, 25 people. You ain't got to.
Yeah. And I again, she had a real ceremony, y'all. Walked down the aisle. She had her song "Take Me Back" playing as a background. I made a new song.
Did you download it?
I did. I downloaded it. I supported it for sure. She had a pastor, Pastor Anthony Wheeler. He did the ceremony. He prayed over her.
They did vows.
Yeah, she did vows to herself and to her family. Mm-hmm. People that say it's extra, I can understand that. I had a butterfly celebration for me when I actually got my papers and I was like officially divorced. And it wasn't like I went down the aisle and married myself, but I went out and I celebrated myself, and I celebrated a new chapter and a new journey and me finding myself again and me loving myself again, because I got to a place where I lost myself. So this was me reconnecting with Julie, so I could understand the significance and importance of it for Mel. I really related with her. She
may not have been like this person's way of like celebrating whatever chapter, but it's not a far-fetched idea that people do decide to reclaim and celebrate things such as name changes, divorces, or different milestones that are impactful for them. I thought it was, as usual. I think Mel puts on really great events.
Yep.
I really did. I loved the gowns. I loved everything about it. I loved what she wore. I loved her hair. I really thought it was a very pretty small, intimate event. Until Nell came over with that mess.
Right. So, okay, after the ceremony, let's just go there. Nell pulls Mel to the side. First, she congratulates her. Then she mentions Martell and the conversation that she had with him. Mel's surprised because she really don't want to be talking about her ex-husband at her name changing ceremony. Like, this not about him. Why are we even talking about him? Which I agreed. I was like, Nell, read the room. Why is this even coming out? I was so mad. How old are you? Why are you doing this? As her friend, why are you doing this? Like, you just saw a ceremony and what she's trying to do as far as detach herself from Martell. And here you go, bringing the nigga's name up. I was just disgusted with Nell for doing that. Timing's off, boo-boo. Timing's off.
How about it's no perfect timing? Because this conversation doesn't need to be had.
No, it don't.
It doesn't need to be had. What is the significance of telling her what this man has said?
Why should she care?
Why does she even need to know this conversation existed? Yeah. There was no timing, Nell. You were inappropriate for the conversation as a whole.
Yeah. Agreed.
As a whole. Yeah, he said that he gave you the name and like, girl, messy motherfucking boots. Yes. And Mel was real cute with you. Cause I would have asked you to leave.
Yes.
I would have asked you to leave before you came to me trying to get my blood pressure high off that ninja.
That's one thing I noticed about Mel, and I really liked it. Cause she was like, you know what? This is why this is so important to me, and having the ceremony means so much to me. You know, leaving that chapter and him, and it just shows that he's a narcissistic. And you know what? Let's go get something to eat and celebrate. You know, it was just so smooth. Like, let's just move on. I'm like, thank you, Mel. You're just so classy, very sweet.
I would have said that as I was walking her to the door. Goodbye.
Yes. So then her good friend gives a nice toast. It was honoring her children that came from, you know, because she was like, we're celebrating you getting out, but let's just also honor what it was, because what came from it was your beautiful 4 children, which was nice that she, you know, mentioned her kids. And she said, and you always stay true to yourself no matter what throughout that process, in it and out of it. You've always been you. And it was a nice toast. I was like, good toast. Good toast, friend. So I really like that. Thank you, Dr. Friend. And then we can move on. Did you like the toast? Was the toast good?
I did. That's what I said. I thought the ceremony actually was really nice. I thought
her mama got up and read. Her mama got up and did something too. So it was just really nice.
And I love her mom. And I liked it. I did. The only part that irritated me was Neil. And Neil would have had to go.
That made me mad. Like that's why my notes was. I was disgusted. Just girl, I
would have gave her a plate out.
I want to know how old she is, because I just feel like, but I'm learning at this stage of my life with just like my mother's friends, they in their 60s and they messy. And I'd be like, y'all too old for this. Like, why are we still messy in our 60s? Is that what I gotta go through if I make it that far in life? Like, people
No, I think people think that evolution comes with age, and that's just not true.
That's sad.
That's not true. There are people who are 60 with a mindset of a maturity level and an emotional intelligence of 12. Age does not predict necessarily your evolution, growth, and maturity. That is very much internal motivation and self-awareness and other things. If not, you'll be 60, 70, 80. Still fighting, still cussing people out. Like, we've seen this, right? Like, look at Scrappy Mama.
Yeah.
Look at these reality stars moms.
And I guess for me, I look at those people on reality TV like they ain't real.
And they absolutely are.
And they are.
Absolutely.
Like Miss Wanda. I'd be like, so it is, but it's embarrassing. Oh man, I just Nell doing that was just so disgusting to me. Okay, so let's go. Stormy has a meeting with one of her business people. They're about to celebrate her 5-year anniversary of Canvas. They discussed like the trials and tribulations, how they had ups and downs. At one point, she almost lost everything, like the business, the money, and her house, but they was able to get it back on track. So that was a good thing. Then we have the Fletcher's family. And honestly, I don't know if this was the end, but this was the end of my notes. So the Fletcher's family had like a family dinner, and Nell and Chris started out. They give us some background on the Fletchers, which I like. I was happy. I felt like Kiki needed one of these type of things for us to get to know Kiki, because this actually made me more invested in the Fletcher story. So Nell and Chris started off with one child each, and then they got married and they had 2 kids together. So they have 4 kids. And Nell says she don't look at it as stepkids, because when they both got together, both of their kids was like a year old. So they've been in their, each other's kids' lives from they was really little. So since they was babies. So then Nell's niece also is involved. She's like one of Nell's children as well. She seemed a little bit wild. They talked about how Nell had to fire her. She got another job and got fired from there. Who is this? Her name is Kiki too. So Kiki told Chris stuff about her job, losing the job and stuff that she hasn't told Nell, and Nell feel a certain kind of way about that. How you gonna tell Chris these things but not tell me? So she basically is asking Kiki like, yo, why would you tell Chris about what's going on with you, but you ain't tell me? Kiki is like, because I don't tell you, because how you react, you know what I'm saying? I don't like the way, you react and what you say. Then Nell goes back and forth. And it just reminded me of these new kids, baby. They vocal, child. And then Nell reminds me of an older Shekinah. Did you notice that? I was watching her and I was like, why is she like Shekinah? This is Shekinah at 50.
But I kind of think Nell a fight. Shekinah be like, I got this mouth, but don't touch me. I call the cops.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of feel like with Nell, though, she'll rock them kids' socks off. There's something about Nell that I feel like she'll go upside a head or two.
I think so, too.
Yeah, like I get that bad.
We also learned about their son who he got arrested, and I guess Nell and Chris had to take care of his dog while he got arrested, and they had like a $3,500 bill or something with the dog to get him together, and they had to get him out of jail, which was like another $6,000. And I felt like the son felt a little entitled, because he was like,
you would have been you are the dog. You are the dog, because I'm more inclined to take this damn dog than you at this point. Yeah. But it's you or the dog. I wish you would go to jail and be like, but can you pay for the dog? You or the dog.
And then just feel like, y'all got it, so y'all can pay it. First of all, I got it. That don't mean I want to spend it on you and your damn dog. Girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing about parenting.
Because you would have sat there.
You are always supposed to parent. Like you never stop being a parent, right? But it's not my responsibility now to be bailing you out of stuff when you're doing stupid stuff. And then to not be grateful, to be entitled to my money is a problem because I work hard. You know what I mean?
Try to get a refund and send it back. Fuck with me. I would have sent his ass back and I would have kept the dog. You could take her until your court date. And I'd have kept the dog.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I was turned off by the son, like, but that's I'm telling you,
I'd have been the first reality mom in history to go and ask, can I take them back and can I get my money back? I bet the jail would have been so confused. I'm sorry, ma'am. What I want to know, can I get my money back and you take him back? I changed my mind. Can you go back? It was my money. I want a refund. Is there like a 30-day refund guarantee? It ain't been nothing but a couple of hours and he running his mouth. I want my money back.
Right. I felt like that, like, but you know, people would get mad at you if you don't just, and it's crazy because it is the younger generation just feels so entitled, and it's crazy to me. Like they feel so entitled.
Girl, they could have done every think piece on me, but I'm getting my money back. Every Gen Zer in the nation could have done a think piece on whether or not I was a toxic mom for letting my kid be in jail, and I still would have had $6,000 reason why I would have. If you come to me acting as if I owed you to get you out of jail and this dog,
and you got yourself locked up. You did this. Your grown behind did this, and it's my job to get you and your dog. Like,
that dog is really getting to and the dog?
No, what's getting to me is the no gratefulness. Like, no, thank you. No, I got you. I'm a fix. I'm sorry. Like, it was just kind of like, you got it. Oh, nigga.
Right. I do. You don't. You can stay there. You are absolutely right. I do got it. You don't. Yes. That's the problem. So you may need to figure out how to get it.
Yes. Yeah. I was like,
figure out how to get it.
See, this is why I was like, okay, Fletchers. Yes. Okay. Y'all giving me something.
Now, when the Fletchers start acting like Kirk Franklin, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. When he get cussed out, like Kirk did that cuss out.
Yes.
If they'll start talking like Sharon Palmer, I don't want to hear it. Because ain't no way you gonna be coming at me like that.
Yes.
Bro. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So that's where I ended. I did see like a commercial break and they showed Chris talk to Martell. Like, don't talk to my wife like this. I don't know. I didn't watch that, I guess, because I ain't take no notes on it. Do you have any more comments about the show? Or no? Okay.
No, but I do want to see more of the Fletchers. Yeah. And I have this feeling that the Fletchers are going to replace somebody. I feel like they're testing something.
Kiki.
I think Tiffany and Lewis.
Both. All of them.
I think it would actually work with the Steels and the Fletchers. Yeah. I don't think Lewis and Tiffany nor Kiki and her husband are even needed.
Yep. Agreed.
I think I think that's the shakeup that they probably need. Mm-hmm. And they just need to test, you know.
It also seems like the Fletchers and the Scotts ain't clicking either. So that gives Letitia someone else not to like besides Mel. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
But also gives Mel a little bit more of like a balance of who we can see her film and stuff with. Right. I think this is it. Like, I don't think I need Tiffany, Lewis, Kiki, or her husband. I want to see the Fletchers, the Steels, Mel, and the Scotts.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I think that's it.
Yep.
I think we could start that.
I'm with it.
I'm with that. We can start that.
All right, y'all. So that's it. That's episode 23 and 24. We are gonna come back and we're gonna do the Housewives of Potomac. This new season, episode 1 and 2. So join us as we knock this out. We did it in an hour, girl. Okay.
We did it.
Okay.
We're coming right back.
All right, we're coming right back. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Come on back to the page and chat it up with us. All right. Love y'all.
Bye.